Our final inductee this evening is Denard Walker of South Garland High School, and let's watch Mr. Walker's video.
Denard Walker began his football career at an early age by participating in the Garland Pee Wee football organization. He then excelled as a student athlete in football and track and field at South Garland High School. He started at defensive back for the Colonels, earning two-time first-team All-District and Prep All-American in 1992. His highlights at South Garland were playing at the Cotton Bowl against John Tyler High School and being part of a great senior class. Upon graduation from South Garland in 1992, Denard earned a full athletic scholarship to play football and continue his education at Louisiana State University. Denard started at the defensive back position for the LSU Tigers his junior and senior years. He earned the Eric Andelsek Award, given for leadership and commitment, the Butch Duay Award, given to the senior who best exemplifies their commitment to the team, and was a two-time SEC All-Conference academic. Denard's highlights at LSU were finishing his senior year on a team that went 9-2 overall and 6-2 in conference, ultimately winning the SEC West Division. Additional highlights include beating Clemson 10-7 in the Peach Bowl and graduating with a degree in education. Denard was drafted in the third round by the Houston Oilers Tennessee Titans. He played in Super Bowl 34 with the Titans in 1999. He signed as a free agent with the Denver Broncos in 2001 and started in 31 out of 32 games in his 2 years with Denver. Denard went on to play 1 year with the Minnesota Vikings and 2 years with the Oakland Raiders before retiring in 2006. Denard finished his NFL career with 409 tackles, 13 interceptions, and 3 touchdowns. Denard resides in Garland, Texas with his 3 children, Bernard 18, Brendan 15, and Briley 7. Denard is the founder and CEO of Walker Urban Development, which invests in startups and townhomes in Houston, Texas. His hobby is spending quality time with his 3 awesome children. Ladies and gentlemen, the newest member of Garland Sports Hall of Fame, Denard Walker.
Hello, everybody. I try to say, I don't really try to talk too much. There's an old saying, it says, the quieter that you become, the more you can hear. And I'm not an emotional person, that's what's weird about it. But when I walked in, I saw this man who, he really changed my life. And there's about 4 people, and I'm gonna get to my family and my friends. I saw my high school football coach, Don Poe. I saw my other high school football coach, Mike Long. And I saw Coach Mike Sessom. And I saw this other man by the name of Mr. Atwood, who was my geometry teacher. And I was speechless. It was like I couldn't say anything more. I had a chance to play 9 years in the National Football League. And not one of those years compared to the years I had at South Garland High School. Not one. I played for Jeff Fisher. I played for Mike Shanahan. The other 2 coaches, I had to forget about those 2. I think it was Mike Tice and Norv Turner. No disrespect to Norv Turner. But not one of them compared to Coach Don Poe. And this man, Mike Long, who I used to go home and I would tell my mom, I said, you know, Mom, I cannot stand this man. I went outside and called them many names. Every name in the book. When you're 18, you can say things like that. As long as I didn't say it in front of my mom, but I couldn't stand him. And the reason that I couldn't stand him because he stayed on me so hard. I couldn't even look at him sometimes because he was just always on me, pushing me. And I remember this day, and I never forget this. I'm 43 years old, and I could have been about 17 or 18. And I did something, and I don't know what it did, but it made him mad. And anybody that knew me, especially Donnie knows me well, that I was obsessed with my hair in high school. And Clint knows that. You touch my hair, we're going to fight. I mean, it's going to be on. And so on this day, it was raining, or I think it was just really muddy outside, and it was in the off season. And I don't know what I did. I wasn't the best kid in the world. And this man, we used to have, Coach Poe had these things called roll run. Me and Donnie know about this. So when you get in trouble, you miss class, or you had to run every 5 yards, and you had to roll back and forth. You had to go down and back, and that's just one. And my whole body was just, hair was muddy. And when I got in, I was just, he had said something, because I thought about quitting that day. I just felt like I just couldn't take it no more. And so I had enough. And he walks up to me after he done disciplined me like that, and he says, "Son, you a winner. You a winner, son." And so I was going to a recruiting trip to Baylor, and I'm thinking, out of all the people that would say something nice about me, it'll be Mike Long. And this guy by the name of Coach Cope, he passed away. He was a secondary coach at USC, and then he came to Baylor, and he tried to get me to go to Baylor. And he said, "Denard, let me tell you something. There was a lot of people that said that you're not good enough to play Division I football. There was a lot of people that said your feet are too slow." I'd heard that all my life. But he said, "Mike says something different." And I said, "Who?" He said, "Mike, Coach Long." And how I ended up getting to LSU was Coach Long. I had went to military school. And when I went to military school, nobody knew where I was. Donnie and a lot of people were looking for me. Everybody thought I went to USC. I originally signed to go to University of Southern California out of high school. But my grades were not good enough, and my SATs were insufficient. And when I got back, I called Coach Long, and I asked him, "Coach, I've been having a lot of reservations about going all the way to Southern California to go to school. Can you make a phone call for me?" And he called Coach Bennett. And I'll tell you, me and Coach Bennett didn't have a great relationship, but LSU ended up being a blessing in my life. And to Mr. Atwood, can you just wave? I don't want you to have to stand up. Is he here? This man right here, before I get to my family, this is a man that, I played around at school. I didn't take school seriously. And I paid a heavy price for that. And this man, he took me aside, and I nearly didn't graduate because I played around so much. And I remember he came in his classroom. I was in his math class, and he says, "I don't want anybody to make no excuses about this math. You can do it if you want to." And one of my other best friends, Miss Lieber Clay Hayes, she'll tell you that, because I used to try to copy off her. It's weird. We've been the best of friends for about 25 years. It's been a long time. And I used to try to copy off her. She was like a national honor, all that stuff. Me and Donnie, we just played around. But he instilled in me the importance of an education. And when I got down to LSU, it wasn't about getting ready for the football season. It was about the first day of class. And if anybody tell you anything about me at Louisiana State, they would tell you that one thing. They would say that this kid worked hard. Off the field and how I carried myself, I owe that to my mother, who always showed me to be different, my family. And the reason that I'm standing here today is because I was blessed to have a great family. And when I say family, I mean my friends. All of these people have been in my life since I was probably about 15. I can't even tell you. God blessed me to have a great family. My mother, my father, my grandfather, all of these people are my family. And these coaches because they taught me so much more about, it was more than a game. And when I got in the NFL, I'll be honest with you, I got off track because I got a whole lot of people. I surrounded myself with a new group of people. And the hard as it is for me to say this, and I want to tell young kids, you need to stick with the people that's been there with you through the beginning. Don't try to change your inner circle, because that's where you get in trouble. And I just thank God every day. And I was asking God, what can I say? And he says, easy. Just say thank you. And the reason that I'm here today is to thank Mr. Wegenhoff, the staff, the people that elected me here. This is my home. But the thing that I treasure the most is the relationship. Coach Sessom, you don't understand. Me and Donnie, we spend 3 or 4 hours. That's been one of my best friends. We just talk about high school. I never talk about the NFL. And Coach Poe, Mrs. Poe, I still remember in 1992 in Austin, Texas, Coach Poe came all the way to Austin and come see me at the state track meet. And the thing that made me mad more than anything was we had a hotel room, and I was going to sneak out that night because him and his wife, they came down and they slept in, me and Coach Mack, we slept in the back. And then you had the pull-out bed, him and his wife. He said, well, when we go out, we got to be real careful so we don't wake him up. But again, to everyone that elected me, I just say thank you. To all the young kids, I tell you, just make sure that you keep those people close that you had in the beginning. And the thing that, like I said before, I treasure the most, my mother, you've always taught me to be different. My friends, every single one of these people sitting here, they've been with me through the beginning. And it's amazing. And I was like 18, and now that I'm 43 years old, they're still sitting there. So thank you.
Good job, man.
This is special recognition in honor of Denard Walker, Garland Sports Hall of Fame inductee. Whereas Denard began his football career at an early age in the Garland Pee Wee Football League before he excelled greatly as a student athlete in football and track at South Garland High School. And whereas Denard currently resides in Garland as the founder and CEO of Walker Urban Development, which helps startup companies and townhomes in Houston. And whereas members of the City Council recognize, honor, and congratulate Denard on his service to the community and his induction into the Garland Sports Hall of Fame on September 23, 2016. Now therefore I, Douglas Athos, Mayor of the City of Garland, together with the City Council, do hereby convey this special recognition upon Denard Walker.
Thank you, sir.